Hello students, in this class we'll be learning about some of the topics of quicksort algorithm and merge sort algorithm. So now we'll be looking into what quicksort is. So quicksort is based on the concept of divide and conquer. So just like merge sort, which we'll be discussing in the next topic. So what happens in quicksort is that it can be also called partition or exchange sort, because in this type of sorting we create functions of partition and exchange, which can be referred to as swapping of elements, or the term can be defined as partition and exchange. So simply what happens in quicksort is that all the heavy or major work done while dividing the array into sub-array, while in the case of merge sort, all the real work happens during the merging itself of sub-arrays. So in case of quicksort, it's really interesting that nothing really happens, and also the time complexity is less. So as I have told you earlier that it is also called partition exchange sort, this can be divided into three main parts. First is the elements less than the pivot element. We'll be discussing what pivot means, and second, the pivot element, the central element to be discussed in this class, and elements greater than the pivot element, the third factor. So the pivot element can be any element from the array, and it can be the first, last, or middle element, or any element for that matter in the array. So in this tutorial we'll be learning about how to take the pivot element. So in this example we have taken the pivot element to be the last element. So for now, to explain it much more in detailed manner, I'll be taking an example. So we have taken here an unsorted array comprising of around 8 elements. So from 52 to 25 total 8 elements are there, and these are unsorted elements. And as I've told you earlier, we'll be taking the last element to be pivot. So here you can see in the array the last element is 25, hence 25 is a pivot element. So after the first pass, the list of the change in the array will look like this. So 6, 8, 17, 14, 25, 63, 37 and 52. So if we closely observe the array, then you can see that to the left of 25 all the elements are lesser than 25, and to the right of 25 all the elements are greater than 25. So hence after the first pass, pivot will be set at its position with all the elements smaller to its on its left and all the elements larger to its right. So now 6, 8, 17 and 14 and 63, 37 and 52 are considered as two separate sub-arrays. It has been misprinted here, and same recursive logic will be applied on them. And we'll be keep doing this until the complete array is sorted. So now we'll look on into the algorithm using the pictorial representation to make it much more clear to you. So how does quicksorting works in short? After selecting an element as pivot, which is the last index of the array in our case, we divide the array for the first time. So in quicksort, we call this process as partitioning. So in this quicksort, we'll be calling this process as partitioning, that is dividing the array for the first time using the pivot. It is not simply breaking down of array into two sub-arrays, but in case of partitioning, the array elements are so positioned that all the elements smaller than the pivot will be on its left side and all elements greater will be on its right side, and the pivot element will be at its final sorted position. The elements to the left and right may not be sorted among themselves, which we'll be seeing it in the next example. Then we pick sub-arrays, elements on the left of pivot and elements on the right of pivot. We perform the same function, we perform the same partitioning on them by choosing a pivot on those two sub-arrays. So you might have an image right now, so we'll be discussing in this in detail. So let us consider an example. Let us consider an unsorted array. From it has around 4 to 4 10 elements. So there are total of 10 elements, 0 to 9 indexes. So So we have taken an array 10 elements. So here you can see that we have taken the last element to be called as the pivot, that is the last element is 6. So 6 is a pivot. So in the next, that is the first pass, you can see that all the elements that are towards left, here the 6 is it is sorted at its correct position. So all the elements that are towards left are smaller than 6, and all the elements that are towards right are greater than 6. And now what happens is that, as you can see, the whole array has been divided into two sub arrays. One is comprising of the elements in 0 to 2, that is 0, 1, 2, and the other elements are in the second half of the array, that is from 4 to 9. So this is the second half and this is the first half. That are the two sub arrays. So what we'll be going to do is that from the sub arrays itself, we'll be taking one more pivot, that is one pivot from the first half and one pivot from the second half. So as you know that the pivot would always be the last element of the sub array. So here in this array, that is from 0 to 2, the last element is 3. So 3 becomes our pivot, and from 4 to 9 our pivot is 11. So 11 becomes a pivot for the sub array 4 to 9. So what we'll be doing is that in the next pass, that is the second pass, we'll be getting the pivot at its correct position, and towards left will be lower value, towards right will be the greatest value than 3, and similarly in this case 11, the smaller elements towards left and the greater elements towards right. So similarly we'll be once again dividing the array based on the sub arrays, that is here we'll be dividing from 11. So 4 to 6 is one part and 8 and 9 is one part. So once again we'll be keep repeating the process, and we'll be sorting them from lower to higher until and unless you get the whole fashion of the array in a sequential ascending order. So here you can see you have got 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. The array has been sorted. So this is what happens in quicksort. So step 1, we select the last element as a pivot, in which we have seen that 6 is this case, and we call that as partitioning, and hence rearranging of the array in such a way that 6 will be placed in its final position, and towards left would be all the elements that are lesser than 6, and towards right would be all the elements that are greater than 6. Then we pick the sub array on the left and the sub array on the right, select once again a pivot among them, and then we'll be keep repeating the process, that is towards the left the lesser elements, towards the right the greater elements. And I would like to bring to your notice that you have seen that all the pivots are already fixed in their position. That is the third point over here. The pivot element will be in its final sorted position. So the pivot would be already sorted in its final position when you do the quick sorting process. Now we'll be going into the implementation of the code of how the quick sort happens. So implementing the quick sort algorithm, so stdio implement header file, then we have taken two functions, partition and quick sort. We have taken the arguments as array, beginning and end data type, and then we have inside the main function taken int I, and then we have declared an array comprising of total of 10 elements they are of course in unsorted manner. Then we have called the function quicksort and giving the arguments as array 0 to 9, giving all the elements as arguments. We have called the quicksort function, which will be there in the next slide. Print f the sorted array, to print the sorted array for I equal to 0. That's normal process for printing any of the array. Now we'll look on into the next function, that is our partition. So in the partition we have seen that we have accepted three arguments, that is int array a, beginning and end, and we have taken left, right, temp, location, log, flag. So here we have seen that we have equated a location equal to left equal to beginning and right is equal to end. We have given as you give in the binary search program, that is towards the left, right and in the mid. It's somewhat similar to quicksort. You can correlate both of them. That's the reason location equal to left equal to beginning, right equal to end, and after all this will be modified in the upcoming changes. So 1, we have taken flag equal to 0 in the above statement. So while flag is not equal to 1, while a of location is less than equal to a of right and location is not equal to right. So we have set the location's value and pivot element. So as long as all the elements are pointing to the pivot element, so as long as a of location is less than equal to a of right and log is not equal to right, that means that all the elements are towards its all the a of location is less than equal to a of right, so all the elements are towards its right. So as long as all the elements are towards its right, then it will be assigning all the greater elements. So right minus minus, if location is double equal to right, flag equal to 1. So as long as it reaches the pivot element over here, that is as long as the pivot position is equal to the right element after right minus minus, then we'll be putting the flag's value as 1 and then it will be coming out from the while loop. Else if a of location is greater than or equal to a of right, then what we'll be doing is that we'll be setting the greater elements, we'll be sorting the greater elements. So we'll be putting all the elements that are greater to the pivot in its front, that is the right side. So temp is equal to a of log equal to a of right equal to temp, and we have set the new location as right. So if flag is not equal to 1, we'll be carrying on while a of location is greater than equal to left. Now we'll be putting it for the leftmost to the pivot. We'll be doing a similar, that is as long as the pivot, as long as location is double equal to left, that is we'll be putting flag equal to 1. Otherwise we'll be swapping, we'll be doing the partitioning and we'll be arranging the elements that are lesser to the pivot element towards left side. Temp equal to a of location equal to a of left, a of left equal to temp, location will set it into left. Now after that we'll be returning the location, we'll be returning the final pivot element. So this is a function which will be calling the quick sort. The quick sort function has been declared here. So we have taken the arguments as array a, int big and int end, end location log. If beginning is less than equal to end, then we'll be calling this at least now you can recall what kind of function is this. So this is the recursive function that has been called over here. Location equal to partition a comma big comma end, and this is the recursive function quick sort a comma beginning comma location minus 1. So location equal to partition a beginning comma end. So this is the pivot value for every new sub array. So after first pass, a new location will be found, so that would be a new pivot element. Then once again after a new pass, second pivot element would be found, and so on. It will be keep happening. So this will happen under the quicksort element, that is quicksort here is a recursive function, and this will be keep executing until the condition becomes false. Quicksort a beginning comma location minus 1, beginning to all the location till the end location, that is because in this example we have taken the pivot element to be the last element, so location minus 1. This is for the right element. Then quick sort a equal to location plus 1 towards for the left element and end. This is how a sorted array looks like after the quick sort. Now we'll look on into how merge sort algorithm takes place. So what happens in merge sort is that it follows the rule of divide and conquer. So to sort a given set of numbers or elements recursively, hence consuming less amount of time. So we have learned about other sorting methods, and we have also seen that some of them have worst case running time, that is they require much more time for the execution of program. So as the size of the input grows, insertion and selection sort can be much more time consuming. So merge sort is on the other hand runs in O(n star log n). So this is the time period, how much time does it require whenever there are n elements in the cases. So let us see before jumping on to merge sort algorithm what is divide and conquer. So if we break a single big problem into smaller sub problems, then it becomes much more easy to solve the smaller sub problems and combine the solution to find the major solution for the original big problem, and thus it helps us to compile the whole program. So let's take an example of divide and rule first. So how does merge sort works? So as we have already discussed of merge sort in a previous concept somewhat, it utilizes divide and conquer rule to break the problem into sub problems, and hence we'll be adding all those sub problems into solving the final problem case, and then we'll be sorting the given array. So in merge works, so we'll be taking an array that is comprising of total 8 elements. So in merge sort we break the given array midway. For example, if the original array had 6 elements, then the merge sort will be having, after breaking down into 2 subarrays, 3 elements each. But breaking the original array into 2 smaller subarrays is not helping us in sorting the array. So what we'll be doing is that we'll be breaking these subarrays into even smaller subarrays until we have multiple subarrays with single element in them. Now the idea here is to that the array with a single element is already sorted. So once we break into the original array, then the subarrays which has only a single element have been successfully broken down into a problem, to a base problem. So now we'll look on into with the example. So we have seen a pictorial representation of how this merge sort works. So this is an array. We have taken an unsorted array, and then there are here total of 8 elements. So we'll be dividing the elements into total 4 and 4. So here in the first half we have 14, 7, 3, 12. In the second sub array we have 9, 11, 6, 2. So what we'll be doing is that we'll be dividing once again this array into halves, that is sub arrays again. So 14, 7, 3, 12, 9, 11, 6, 2. Then we'll be once again we'll be dividing it, so we get single elements this time, that is 14, 7, 3, 12, 9, 11, 6, 2. Now what we'll be doing is that we'll be sorting these elements 7, 14, 3, 12, 9, 11 and 2, 6, and then we'll be merging it 3, 7, 12, 14, 2, 6, 9, 11. Then we have the final merging, that is 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 14, and all the elements in the array are sorted. So we'll look on into the following steps of how the merge sort takes place. So we'll be taking a variable called a p and storing the starting index of our array in this. So and we'll be taking another variable r and we'll be storing the last index of the array in that variable r. Then we'll be finding the middle of the array, which we'll be getting from the formula, that is p plus r by 2, and we'll be marking the middle index as q and break the array into 2 subarrays from p to q and from q plus 1 to r. So we'll be dividing the array into subarrays, that is once again the left part is from p to q as shown in the figure and from q plus 1 to r index. Then we'll be dividing these 2 subarrays again into 2 more subarrays, and then we'll be taking once again the divided main array and we'll be continuing this process. So once we have divided the main array into subarrays with single elements, we start the merging of elements into subarrays. This is how the code of the merge sort algorithm takes place. So we'll see into the implementation of this code. So we have taken include stdio. So let's take a of 5, 32, 45, 67, 2 and 7 as the array to be sorted. So this is the function, merge sort function. We have taken the argument as array a, p and r. So here p points to the first element, r points to the last element. We have taken int q in order to find the middle element. So q, as long as if p is less than equal to r, if p is less than r, as long as the first element is less than the last element, q equal to p plus r by 2, q we get the middle value, and then we'll be calling the function, recursive function once again, merge sort a pq, merge sort a q plus 1r, merge a p q r. So this is consecutively for the left and right of these subarrays. So we'll look into the function now of merge. So void merge, the function to merge the subarrays. We have taken the arguments as a array, p and q and r, q which we have obtained from the function merge sort, and then what we'll be doing is that we'll be creating a same size array b, and then we'll be declaring 3 variables I, j and k, and we'll initialize k equal to 0 I equal to p, the starting index, and j equal to q plus 1, that is the last element of the first subarray. J equal to the last element of the first subarray, j equal to q plus 1. So while I is less than equal to q and j is less than equal to r, so as long as it remains in the second half, we will be getting if a of I is less than a of j, then b of k plus plus is equal to a of plus, because a of I plus plus, which means that we'll be sorting in place of ascending order. So if we have seen that a of I is less than a of j, then we'll be initializing the bk a of I is less than a of j, and b of k plus plus is equal to a of I plus plus. So in the new array, that is B array, we'll be putting all the elements, that is single elements, in an order, and else condition, if a of j is greater than a of I, then we'll be putting the second half of the element into the B array, that is B k plus plus is equal to a of j plus plus. So now until the I is less than equal to q and j is less than equal to r conditions applied, the while loop will be running accordingly. And after the loop ends, we'll be coming into the condition, that is why I is less than equal to q. So q is the mid element. So and when I reaches the middle of the element, mid index of the array, then b of k plus plus is equal to a of I plus plus. So we'll be transferring the element from the a array, and we'll be starting from the beginning index, that is a of I plus plus, and we'll be transferring it to the b array, that is b of k plus plus. So while similarly, while j is less than equal to r, so now this is the first half of, this is for printing first half, putting the first half of the array a into b, and this is for the second half of the array. So while j is less than equal to r, because r is the ending index, so this is from starting to middle, and this is from middle to end. So while j is less than equal to r, b plus plus is equal to a of j plus plus. And then we'll be running a for loop to copy back, that is for I equal to r, I greater than equal to p, I minus minus. So we'll be starting from the ending value, so a of I equal to b of minus minus k. So now we'll use the function to print the array int I, for I equal to 0 and less than size, we'll be printing, and we'll be giving a gap print n outside the for loop. So inside the main function, we'll be declaring an array of 5 elements. We'll be calculating this length of the array from using size of array by size of array 0, the base address, printf given array, and we'll print array, that is we'll be calling the function print array, and we'll be calling the merge sort function here, and we'll be passing the argument, that is array, from 0th index to the last index, that is length minus 1. And then we will printf sorted array, will print the sorted array, and we'll be calling once again the print array function return 0. So this is the output given array. We have the elements over here. The sorted array would be in this format. That's it. Thank you.